so much for joining us on Passion today. I am your host, Britt Ivy, and today we have with us choreographer Tina Clark. Tina, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Britt.
Yes. Tina is a bit of a local celebrity and has been choreographing and dancing, actually dancing since she was 5. I don't think you started choreographing when you were 5.
Not then.
Not that early. Well, you've brought a few of your dancers with you. I think we have Mr. Claire Killen, correct?
Hi,
Did I
yeah.
pronounce that correctly? Wonderful. Thank you for being here, Claire.
It's a pleasure to, Brett.
Wonderful. You are going to be in Tina's upcoming presentation, the annual show Generations, correct?
Right, I'm the end.
You're the end.
I'm the end.
You're the end. Wonderful. Well, it's a full spectrum show, so Tina will explain that to us as we continue here. And these two lovely ladies at the end here, we have Ella Smith and Zola Smith. Why don't you say hi, girls?
Hi.
Hi. Now, you two are also in Generations, correct?
Well, this year Zola's not in Generations.
Okay. But last year Zola was in Generations,
Yeah.
correct?
I'm going to be in next year too.
And you're going to be in next year, too. Good. Excellent. How old are you two?
I'm 11.
I'm 7.
7 and 11. Wonderful. That's neat. My sister and I used to have a joke when we were little. When she was 7 and I was 11, we always thought we were 7-Eleven, you know, the store. You had to be there. Well, thank you, girls, for coming today, and Claire. Tina, when we sat down to talk about this show, I was just amazed at how much you've done in your life, where you've been, and the invitations you've had and scholarships you've been awarded. So I'd love to start talking about, I think, your first instance when you had your dance company out of state. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I first started in Missouri, and I went to school in Independence, Missouri, and we had choreographers come into our schools. So I thought that was really important to be exposed to dance right off from, I mean, I started going to a studio when I was young, but then when I was in high school, we got to have choreographer come into the school. So that was very important. So I got to be in a public school and have that exposure. So that was wonderful. And then
So that was in high school when you were in Missouri?
yes,
So you grew up in Missouri,
grew up in Missouri.
and the Missouri Dance Theater is where you attended high school.
Right. Well,
Okay.
I went to high school at Van Horn High School, but the Missouri Dance Theater choreographers came in, and Paul and Cliff, and it was very intense. It was old school modern dance, and with a drum and on the floor, and
Oh, wow.
and yeah, and it was just like, you know, so that was my first exposure. And then I decided, and I was bit by the bug long ago.
So did you decide before then even that you wanted to choreograph, or you kind of understood what choreographing was at that
Well, I
time?
did, because I did a lot of shows with them, so that was wonderful. But I was in church one day, and I decided that I was going to be a choreographer and a dancer, and that was not acceptable in the church that I was in at that time.
Oh, no kidding.
And yeah, and my dad picked us up from church and said, "You can dance in the basement every Sunday if you want to."
Oh, my gosh.
And so I kind of followed my dad's advice, and he was a wonderful dancer, and I continued it. I went off to school, and I danced at the University of Missouri Conservatory, and just continued, and then I went off.
Tell us just a little bit about the conservatory.
The
University
conservatory
of-
was a conservatory. It was very focused on
It's going from high school to a conservatory. That's already pretty serious at that age.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I really realized, and these choreographers were very instrumental in saying, you know, if you really want to do this, you have to just devote your life to it.
Serious.
Yeah, and so I went there, and while I was there, my dance teachers were very serious and wonderful people, and they said, if you really want to do this, you have to go to New York. So I was in school and I went off and I went to New York and did an audition.
Oh my gosh.
And I had a tiny little bit of money. I went to NYU.
And you were how old when you got to audition at NYU?
I was about 18,
Oh my
18 or
goodness.
19.
Wow.
And so it was really, it was so exciting, and it was very small, small town, being, you know, kind of small potatoes, and then just being thrown into the big sea. And you know, people would say, New York City, you can't go New York City, and I went anyway. So,
Well, thank goodness.
I'm glad I did, and you know, and I got a tiny little, I got a scholarship, and my father had just recently died, and a lot of hardship, but I just persevered and continued, and did a one-legged solo
Oh my gosh.
to audition, and I caught their attention.
And we're going to get to see that in a second here, right?
That
Your
one starts
audition?
to get a little bit more, and that's at NYU.
Okay.
And that one is, once I started studying a little bit of Native American studies, I went from New York to New Mexico, and I was kind of a little bit all over the place, but I tried to just take in lots of culture.
Okay.
You know, so.
So the first clip that we have is not your one-legged audition at
It's not the
NYU?
one-legged audition. This one's a little all
I wanted
over
to
the
see
place.
the one-legged
I
audition.
couldn't find it. I apologize. I was searching.
Oh, no problem.
But
It
it's
sounds fascinating.
but it was something that I did at NYU and in the what we called the black box, and with a lot of wonderful students. And
Yeah. And you have seen, Claire, you've seen Tina at work. What's
Oh,
she
yeah,
like
I
to,
have.
to
Well,
watch
she-
it at work?
She's amazing, you know. She can take a group of almost 50 people and all the way from 3 to the end of the 80s.
88,
You're not going to tell us 88?
80, right?
Wow.
87.
That's what you
I'll
meant
be
by
89
near the
in
end.
July, so.
89 in July. Well,
Yeah,
congratulations.
you know, it's like, no kidding.
And you're out dancing on stage. That's awesome. We're going to see a clip of your performing at the end.
Well, I started when I was in my late 60s.
Really?
I started taking a modern dance class.
And you had no experience previous to that?
No, I had no experience, and but I was always interested in modern dance, and could be because my mother was a fan of that, and so I started with a teacher in Ashland, a really good teacher.
Wonderful.
And I think working with her for off and on, we had some periods where we weren't together, but the sum total of my work with her, I think, saved my life.
Wow.
Going from being a type A, following the white line down the highway, looking at the watch, meeting milestones, you know, just projects, overlapping projects, and totally left brain person.
So this passion enabled you actually to have better health, and you think
Oh
it contributed
yeah,
to
oh
saving
absolutely.
your life?
Well,
and giving you
because
30 more years here.
I learned actually that there was something beside my head. That my body wasn't this horse that carried my head around. And,
Oh, I love that. I
Yeah.
need some more of that in my life.
I had an epiphany about 8 or 9 years ago. I was in the class and I was dancing alone to music, and all of a sudden I had this epiphany of, my God, I'm not telling my arms and legs what to do.
Wow.
I'm just a passenger. And it was just this incredible shift of discovering the fact that this thing here is worth half time.
Yeah.
It's not worth 100%.
Thank you for sharing that.
And so it's changed my whole life.
Amazing.
And to work with Claire is just the most spontaneous, liberating thing. Because as a choreographer, you have to pick the right materials. And so it's the same way with just like working with the children. And there are children that have ideas of what they think dance should be like. And there are children that can naturally, out of the womb, not because they're my beautiful, exquisite, wonderful children, but there are children that can just dance because it's in their blood, it's in their heart. And all three of these children sitting here are like that, because, and that makes me, you know, all for it. And myself too.
Exactly. There's 5 of us like that here. Oh
Right.
my goodness.
And I just have to tell you that Ella, who is 11 years old, that I was 6 months pregnant dancing with her. And it's just a sweet little story, but I had a couple doctors in my class, and they came to a performance and they said, we are going to bring our doctor bag because I was 6 months pregnant, and they said we don't want to have to be delivering this baby on stage. But anyway, she has come out dancing, and the same with Zola. Zola is just a phenomenal dancer, and she you know, they just create all the time. So the biggest thing about dance, I honestly feel, as a choreographer, is that we all dance. If we have the freedom to dance is something else, is if we give ourselves that freedom. So that's the great thing about dance, is to know that each one of us have our own dance.
Good. Thank you so much. Congratulations to all of you. And you're going to be helping me choreograph a dance piece before too long.
I'm ready, whenever you're ready.
All right. I'd like to cut to the graphic, if possible, of Tina and her website, dancingwithmisstina.com, and her phone number as well. If we don't get that right now, that's okay. We could do that at the end. Well, there it is. Tina Clark, choreographer. Dancewithmisstina.com. 552-9115. So you've got a lot of people you're already helping in town, but I'm sure some more will be contacting you. So,
Thank you.
Thanks. So first we're going to look at cut number 1, which is your audition at New York University, or actually a little bit past the audition.
Tisch School of the Arts.
There we go. Great. Okay, so let's go to clip 1 of Wow, that was amazing. Woo-hoo!
I'm not 20 anymore, but
22 now, right?
Yay.
Wow, that was amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, we're going to cut to clip 2 here before long because time is a lot shorter when we actually start to go live here. There's so much to talk about. But before we do that, I just want to point out the benefit you did, the AIDS benefit you did at Lincoln Center Festival. I think it was an outdoor festival in New York. Is that
It
right?
was during about that time that you just,
Okay.
and it was called Lincoln Center Out of Doors, and it was during the height of AIDS awareness in New
Okay.
York City, and the little outdoor performance. Is that,
Right.
you wanted me to talk about that?
And you worked with Amy Sue Rosen.
Amy Sue
on
Rosen,
that,
and it was fabulous, and we were on the stage in New York City. It's outdoors at Lincoln Center, and we were doing this fabulous piece, and there was this man like 6'2", and 2 of us tiny little dancers, and we were lifting him over our head, and during the piece, the prop that was on the stage were these beacons.
Oh, the red.
And the liquid red liquid starts flowing in and out of these beakers.
Oh, my
and
goodness.
it was really to bring awareness that it was a deadly disease, and meanwhile we had taken this man over our head and lifted him up, and we were in all white, and it was a fabulous experience. And the time in New York was wonderful because it exposed me to so much great art. And-
Amazing. And you've brought some of it here. So we want to have time to talk about Generations because that's coming up on April 11th.
Yes.
Ashland
High School.
Theater. Tickets on sale, Paddington Station, only $9.
That's it.
Wow. And you traditionally sell out almost 400 seats every year. You've
every
done
year.
that. So I want to leave some time to do that. So clip 2, we're going to see 2 minutes of. Go ahead and introduce this. Oh, good, wonderful. It's on your screen now. Ashland High Theater, $9 at Paddington Station, Saturday the 11th. I'm going to be in New York, speaking of New York then, so I'm going to miss it this year, but I'm really excited for
Ages
y'all.
3 to 88 performing.
Amazing, 3 to 88.
I know. And
Wow.
Claire is the highlight
Yay!
to me.
Well, go ahead and clip 2 then. Is
so
this the
this
Hawaii,
next clip,
University of Hawaii?
this
or-
is University of Hawaii. I got a American Dance Festival award for this was my partner Daryl Thomas and I were master students, and I got a full ride scholarship out to the University of Hawaii, and I took it, and this is part of the
Wow.
product of that.
Quite an accomplishment. Okay, I'm excited. 2 minutes. Clip number 2, please. Tina, that was amazing.
That was so fun.
Wow. Now, did you two design that together? You choreographed that
Well,
together?
there's another choreographer's dream, because the two of us were so fabulously in sync with each other. And
tell.
And the choreographer, all she had to do was say, jump this high, that high, mold like this, da da da. And we were just like, whatever you say.
Wow.
And that is, that is the joy. I have that this year in the 40 performers that I have dancing with me, Drew and Shaney doing work. And, that is a blessing. It is absolute blessing.
40 performers you have this year.
This year, 40
In
performers.
generations.
Ages 3 to 88. And it's a community experience. I mean, it is. And so they come from people always say, well, do you audition? How do you? They come from my children's dance classes. They come from the community. They come from, I see someone walk by. I say, I like the way you move. And you work together.
It is a big deal in the community. Everybody knows when you mention generations what's upcoming each year. So thanks for adding that to our community.
Thank you. Thanks, Britt.
And bringing your passion to our community. And I've always really admired you and respected you, Tina.
Thank
and
you.
Spending all this time now and before actually hearing about your talents, I had no idea. So thanks for bringing that here. And Ashland is a better place because of all of you guys. So. Before we cut to the last clip, which is a clip of generations, and we only have 5 minutes left, so we're only going to see 4 minutes of this clip. Michael, and I just have to have a quick shout out. Michael D. Fox is just doing an amazing job today, directing and handling so many different
Yay,
hats.
Michael.
Today would have never happened without Michael D. Fox, so we all say thank you.
Yes.
Bless you, Michael. So we'll do 3 to 4 minutes, whatever you think is best that we have time for.
So this
Please,
is
Michael?
Claire last year.
Okay,
This is
wonderful.
Claire last year, and he's going to be again this year. And this also goes into...
fasten your seatbelts securely. We'll be happy to get you home safely.
You're back! Wow! Did you have a good trip?
Yeah.
Yeah? Well, listen, I made a real big dinner for you.
Well, I brought a few friends home.
Would you like to have for dinner? Well, bring them on!
You can't stop another lunches of races downhill. You can try to stop.
Oh, wonderful. Beautiful. Thank you for bringing those clips
Oh,
and your
it's great.
performers. Thank you for being here, Claire.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Hopefully, maybe we can do this again. There was more material than we had room for. And thank you, Ella and Zola, for being here. You've got a wonderful mother. And thank you so much, Tina.
Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. So, A Dance in Full Spectrum, Generations, April 11th, Paddington Station, $9 tickets. What a bargain. Take the whole family, invite people from out of town. It'll be a memorable experience. So, let's see, any last comments, parting comments, Tina?
I'm just very thankful for everyone, and I just want to tell people to dance from your heart, and just have a good time.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Whoa.